I'm no stranger to the Gigabyte Aero range. I used one for almost 2 years, and in the past year I have reviewed a number of them. They are great notebooks that boast some incredible displays and powerful internals. However, one thing the range has been in dire need of is a refresh. Gigabyte has used the same design for almost 2 years now, so much so that the brand even designed some of its Aorus notebooks using the same chassis. I am happy to report that the latest Aero 16 is completely new and it is damn refreshing. The Gigabyte Aero YE5 model not only packs a new chassis, but also no USB-A ports, a refreshed trackpad, repositioned webcam, thank the heavens, and a slimmer design, but it is also a powerhouse when it comes to hardware. This specific model boasts a 12th gen Intel Core i9 CPU combined with an RTX 3080 Ti. It comes with 32GB of RAM, expandable up to 64GB if you want, and a whopping 3TB of SSD storage. You simply cannot get better than this when it comes to Windows notebooks. It also includes a 16-inch AMOLED UHD Plus display. You probably already know that the Aero range has some incredible displays, and this one is no different. 4K Plus or UHD Plus has a 12% larger screen space than normal UHD. This is thanks to the 16:10 aspect ratio and the 3840x2400 resolution. Screen aside, I feel like Gigabyte has delivered everything I wished for from the Aero range in this new YE5 notebook. It finally charges with USB-C, they have moved the webcam away from the bottom, and the ports are fantastic and the power is extreme. The full tech specs for this Gigabyte Aero YE5 include the following. Let's get the unboxing out of the way. I don't usually include this in a review, but Gigabyte has completely revamped its packaging with this new range and it is pretty cool. Instead of a boring brown box, you now get a white and aquamarine shell. The package is high grade and features Aero logo embossed into the front. Inside there's a nice slipcover and the notebook is presented in a white fabric case. Underneath it you'll find some instruction manuals and an extra box containing the Aero hub, an additional accessory that expands the ports on offer. Even the Aero hub is nicely packed and comes with a nifty little black case where you can store the adapter when you're not using it. It also comes with a braided cable, so you can plug in the hub into the notebook without attaching the actual hub to the side of the device. Talk about versatility. Also a braided cable. Okay Gigabyte, you guys are now bougie. The Gigabyte Aero YE5 is now encased in an aluminium shell. Mostly the entire notebook is protected by this metal. The only plastic part is the thin bezel around the display and the extrude on the lid for the camera. Like most Aeros, the logo is slapped onto the lid in the middle and lights up. The extruder flap on the lid acts as both a grip to open the device and houses the webcam and microphone. This setup is also pushed in so you won't touch the webcam when you're opening the lid. Another strong feature of the Gigabyte Aero YE5 is that the lid doesn't wobble anymore. In fact, the hinges are so much stronger and even when typing there's little to no movement. I do need to mention two little strange plastic areas on the bottom of the notebook. These seem to be where speakers should have been, but I feel like Gigabyte decided to go with upward speakers at the last minute and already had these holes made. They then had to put plastic on them to seal them up. It just looks weird. When it comes to port positioning, on the left hand side you'll find a USB-C port and a 3.5mm audio jack combo. On the right hand side there's the DC jack and two Thunderbolt 4 ports. The Aero hub included in the box is meant to be used on one of these right hand side ports. When it comes to the keyboard, the black on silver looks great and if anything replicates a MacBook design. The keyboard isn't full size, but the keys feel great to type on. They are pretty much the same as most notebooks out there. The white LED lighting is also a nice finish here and shines bright on the black keys. It helps to see when typing in the dark. The key spacing is good too, but I would have preferred a tighter key layout with the addition of a number pad. Just a personal preference of course. There's also no RGB, which is fine with me. If anything, the RGB in previous Aero notebooks felt a bit off. It is a creator device anyway, not a gaming notebook. The trackpad is also fairly large. Gigabyte says it's 25% larger than the previous Aero models and feels nice to work on. Sadly, it is not glass, so the black will start to shine after a while, which would bother me. Thankfully, it isn't my notebook, so I don't have to deal with that eyesore in the future. The large size works great with gestures, and the bottom 3/4 of the trackpad is all clickable. The webcam is 720p, which is okay. It doesn't handle light very well, but should suffice for Zoom meetings. It also doubles up with Windows Hello, so you can log into Windows 11 fast and easy. This is the only biometrics available on this Aero. There's no fingerprint scanner. When it comes to the display, the Gigabyte Aero YE5 AMOLED is fantastic. It is only 60Hz, which is fine for creator content and okay too if you do plan on gaming. It packs 420 nits of peak brightness, 100% sRGB, 97% Adobe RGB, and 99% P3 color range. There are some other benefits to this AMOLED. For example, it has 70% less blue light than an LCD and a faster response time of 0.2 milliseconds. You'll probably never notice this, but it's nice to have anyway. The Aero 16 is a beast when it comes to performance. This Core i9 12th Gen Intel CPU is amazing for all sorts of content creation, including photo editing, video editing, programming and more. I can go on about what a breeze it was to work on this device while at the same time editing videos, gaming and making sites, but the real results are in the numbers. Here are some of the benchmark tests I ran. Gaming was also great on the Aero 16, mostly everything I played ran well on this RTX 3080 Ti. You are capped at 60Hz on the display, but you can always output your games to a TV or monitor to get a higher refresh rate. Unfortunately, you won't be able to do 4K 120Hz through the HDMI due to the limited port on the additional Aero hub. However, you can always use the mini display port because it does support 4K 120Hz if you can live with that. During gaming, the fan was loud and quite annoying. Gigabyte clearly had to make this fan powerful in order to keep the notebook cool during heavy workloads in gaming. It measured over 60 decibels during gaming. Even during some normal use, the fan turned on too at 40 decibels, and it was hard to ignore. I remember having the same issue with my old Aero OLED 15X. The fan just never turned off and I could never get used to the constant noise. Seems that while the cooling system is great for this notebook, it does always need to run in order to keep the device cool. I also need to mention that the device includes a range of modes to toggle between. These modes help throttle the power distribution of the notebook. There's only so much power you can draw, so while in creator mode it is mostly pushed to the CPU, and in gaming mode this is then pushed to the GPU. Heat distribution is changed depending on this mode. Heat maxed out at 90 degrees Celsius while gaming and 75 degrees when using more CPU intensive programs. It was quite high but not surprising for a notebook. The base clock on this RTX 3080 Ti is 585 MHz. You can boost this up to 1125 MHz. It also uses 80 watts of power, but you can max it out at 105 watts when using dynamic boost. As for the speakers, they are decent enough. The device packs two up-firing speakers which sound good. They are also facing upwards, so this helps with volume and clarity. Lastly, the battery life is also okay. You can get around 7 hours of average work on this Aero 16 and longer if you enable battery saver mode and turn down the display brightness. It isn't the best in the business, but you should get enough for the average load shedding outage and if you travel a lot too. It's not great, but it's okay, I guess. I enjoyed my time with the Gigabyte Aero YE5. There's enough new here to make it feel like a refresh, and I think that's what Gigabyte wanted. The Aero hub attachment is a nice way to extend the ports, but at the same time I feel like these ports should have been implemented into the chassis in the first place. I get it. They wanted it to be thinner, so this is the trade-off we get. The general performance of the notebook is excellent and the display is amazing. All around, if you have the money for a creator notebook, then this kitted out Aero 16 should be on your list. Gigabyte did a great job this year with this range. And that's my thoughts on this new Gigabyte Aero 16. Are you in the market for a new Creator laptop like this? Let us know in the comments down below. Also check out the channel, we have other cool Creator notebook reviews up there that you could watch. Maybe something else will catch your fancy. As always, thanks for always watching. Please do like and subscribe, and visit www.glitched.online for more gaming, tech, and pop culture news. Until next time, farewell.